Hello guys and welcome to episode of GEEKAMANIA. We're your host, Mark.
And I'm Ben.
And today we're going to be reviewing the Showcase of the Immortals, the Super Bowl of Wrestling, the World Cup Final of Wrestling,
WrestleMania
29.
29, yeah.
As you guys can probably tell by my shirt I'm wearing today, I went to WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, this guy actually went in person. So we've got a nice perspective here. We have the guy who just sat at home and watched it on telly, and we have the guy who was actually in the bloody audience, so...
As you can tell, and I also met some of the wrestlers as well. I met Dolph Ziggler, amazing, Langston, AJ Lee, R-Truth and Brodus Clay.
Yeah,
you can tell I've got their signatures as well.
Hooray for Scribbles.
Indeed. Hooray for Scribbles.
Right, so first, we'll also be reviewing Raw, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that. But first off, Mark, which WrestleMania match we're talking about first?
The first match we'll be talking about is The Shield versus Sheamus, Orton and The Big Show.
Yes. Half of this match is great, and that half is known as The Shield.
They
The other
were really
half
good.
is kind of mediocre. And it needed more time, frankly. It was a short match. It really needed to be longer. Because then the Shield would have actually been able to do more interesting things. As it was quite nice. I liked the finish. The finish was cool.
Yeah, the finish was really cool. And I like the fact as well they also had Orton do, as he does every WrestleMania, does that really cool RKO, and then you saw Roman Reigns come in and spear the Big Show around the Orton, and it was like, oh my god, that man does an amazing spear. Probably as good as either Edge's spear or even as good as Rhino's gore.
I kind of think it's better.
Really?
Honestly.
What, better than the gore?
Better than the gore, yeah. It's a really pretty spear. I like his spear that much.
So how different was it? Because I watched it live without any commentary or anything like that. What was it like we're listening to the commentary? Did they add anything to the match?
Not really. I mean, the commentary in this WrestleMania wasn't great. It was serviceable. There was no great moments. There was no great sit-ups. It was just there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it needed more time. That match felt just cut off short. Just a bit of a shame.
Yeah, because that was a really good opener.
Anyway,
next match, Ryback versus Mark Henry.
Big fat versus muscly fat. Big black and Ryback. Yeah, it was okay. Again, like the problem is if you get these two in a match, it's going to be slow.
Yeah, it was
always going to be slow.
And there was a huge boring chant as well.
Oh yeah, you guys did well on that one. I compliment you for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just find it funny that Mark Henry basically won by fat.
And we actually saw when we saw him live at Access, because with Access the people come out and they do Q&As. Just the size of him as well.
Yeah.
He's probably the width of this. He's probably the width of maybe here to here.
That wouldn't
surprise me. He is that huge.
It really wouldn't surprise
me.
me.
He is massive.
Yeah. Somebody needs a Wii Fit. Somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
Someone gonna get the weed whack.
But yeah, it was slow. It was meh. I mean, it was quite cool to see Ryback actually pull that off though. That was pretty.
Yeah,
impressive.
that was impressive.
Because that is a lot of Mark Henry to pick up. That's a lot of chocolate. You don't just go to Tesco's, buy that much chocolate, put it in a fireman's carry and shove it for your back. Don't do that.
That was probably the best bit of that match. Was just that.
Yeah, that was the only reason for that match existing.
And it also as well, it wasn't as bad. It was better than Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match. So that's the worst. Probably one of the worst. It was one of the worst matches ever. It was so hyped up to be, oh my god, it's going to be an amazing match. It was pretty rubbish, to be honest. The next match we have is Team Hell No versus Dolph Ziggler and Langston.
Again, this was a nice match. This was really good, but it was just cut off a bit too short for my liking.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, a lot of this WrestleMania really was, especially in the opening bits, just cut off, just too short. It needed more time.
Because they wanted to give more time to the main events.
I know, and in some places that was a blessing, in some it was a curse. But yeah, it was a really good match.
Yeah, really good match.
Because it was so short, you didn't really get enough time to get into it. That's the problem.
And also as well, seeing it live and just hearing the fire and like Dolph Ziggler coming out got a huge reaction and just having like the fire and like seeing it live was just really cool. And when you have the fire come out, you can just feel the heat as well. It was, as you can probably tell, up on the day I got burnt, and having the fire come at me actually equals out. I could feel it on my face as well even more. But it was still cool though. And the next match we have is Chris Jericho versus
Now I have to say, this match, when I was watching it for the first time, I would have been more entertained, honestly, if Jericho was wrestling a sandbag for the most of that match. Because Fandango did maybe 2 leg drops. That's about all he really managed to get off.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, like, I felt like if they'd have had more time and actually had some time to work with, they might have carved something out more interesting. As it was basically just Jericho showing off his move list against the sandbag.
Which he has a lot. He has 1,003 moves.
He has a damn good move list.
He does, yes.
But, again, needed more time.
Yes. Next match we have is Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Now here's a match we could have maybe taken some time off of. Because this is it was kind of boring, honestly. I wasn't really invested in the story, that's the problem. I kind of feel like after Swagger got arrested for marijuana, like that really just took all of the wind out of his sails. And you could clearly tell that he just wasn't as into it as he was. Zeb was still selling the frick out of this match. Zeb was doing work.
Yeah, Zeb was amazing.
Zeb Coulter's evil face was glorious.
Yes.
I was terrified of that
And I couldn't believe like the promo that he did as well, and like some of the stuff he was able to say was like, it was like, oh my god, people looked at him, I was like, he just say that?
Yeah, he dissed you directly.
He did, yes.
Right there, yeah. Oh. Not only are you some foreign English pig, but you are also a Jew. Oh my god. But yeah, Zeb was going full on racist Holocaust denial. He was really working it. And that was great. It's just a shame that he's in Swagger's corner. And
also as well, during the match, there was a lot of "We want Ziggler" chants. Like, we want Ziggler.
Oh, it was so... See, that's the problem with that match, is the whole match I was just going, please Ziggler, Ziggler,
I was thinking the same thing as well.
Ziggler, the whole time. So I wasn't really focused on the match, I was just focused on, is Ziggler going to come out? Are they going to set it up? Is he going to get an injury? Is Ziggler going to go? So yeah, I wasn't really into it. I was into what could potentially happen afterwards. So it was. Other than that, it was quite a good match actually. Honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match.
I just wish the story had more stakes.
But I was in a way glad that Alberto Del Rio won because he was wrestling.
I was very glad that Del Rio won. But
doing
Swagger was never going to win.
And when Alberto Del Rio came out and he had Del Rio's going, Alberto Del Rio, I didn't do it that long.
No,
by the end of it, I was like, I had to like redo it again because my throat was like getting like, oh my god. By the end of the night, my throat was gone because I was shouting so much. And the next match is Triple H versus Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Now this was actually pretty good. This was good fun.
But I felt bad in a sense that it was after the match, which we'll mention last, because in my opinion I thought it was the main event because it was that good.
I mean, like...
That it went after that, which all the fans were just like...
If this match had gone before then, it would have had a lot more impact.
Yes.
But because it was after the Taker's Punk match, it was...
And apparently on TV it was a lot more better. Because when we saw it live, it felt a bit boring, but apparently on TV it was a lot more better.
On TV, I really enjoyed this match. It was a solid match. I really liked it. I mean... I mean, no offence, but the only downside is that you guys weren't really into it, but it's kind of understandable. Because, you know, by then you guys would probably be freaking knackered.
We were. Literally throughout the match we're going to mention last, because this is the main event, in our opinion, I was literally up for 90% of that whole match. I was probably literally up. Every move they did, everything they did was just amazing. And the Spanish announce table break finally in that match as well.
Jeez, that Spanish announce table.
Always.
But yeah, no, it was a solid match. The story was decent, even if it was just a rerun of last year. And yeah, it was good. I liked it.
The next match we have is Cena versus The Rock.
Yeah, and again, this was a bit of a weird beast of a match.
Yes.
Like, this really put the rest in WrestleMania. I mean, there was so many rest holds. Jesus Christ, the first 10 or 20 minutes of that match was just Cena and Rock doing this and just going, grrr, grrr, you ready to do the actual big move yet? Because I'm really quite knackered. Grrr, grrr, and it was just that. And then the last 10 minutes was all finishers.
Yes.
All. There was maybe a spine buster thrown in, but other than that, it was just all finisher, reversal, finisher, reversal, finisher, 2 count, finisher, reversal, 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 finisher, 2 count.
Mm-hmm.
And then
basically, yeah,
ended in such a weird way. It's just like we had all of that build up and all of that great like poetic justice of, you know, Cena of Rock doing the 5-knuckle shuffle to get Cena. So then it's an echo of last year. That's quite clever.
Yes.
And then that was a 2 count. And then Cena did the same, and that was a 2 count. And then they just do a straight up reverse a rock bottom into an AA 3 count. And I was like, oh, okay. We've seen 50 of those already this match, and now you're ending it? That's a bit odd. And that might have been because Rock got injured. They might have cut it off a little bit early because of that. That's the only thing that I could really think of to justify that reason. But, yeah. Other than that, it was actually quite a good match. It was just, there's such a thing as too many finishers.
And also as well, it was quite predictable where during the match I got bored of it because I knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, we all know who was going to win. And just seeing Rock and Cena shake hands afterwards, it was like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I hate good sportsmanship in those kind of situations. When they're both supposed to be really into it and really gutting against each other and really wanting to pound the other guy into the dirt, and then at the end of the day it's just like, that was a great match, man. Thanks. No, that was really good.
But also as well though,
look, this guy won. Look, isn't that great? Yeah.
And it was also as well though with the fact is, I don't know, just it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. Where if it was going to take a Punk match that we're going to mention next,
which
that would have
should move on to. Jesus.
Which I would have left more happier.
If that match had ended, this match was the sole reason for making this WrestleMania from an okay one into a good WrestleMania.
Yes. And seeing it live was probably, in my opinion, if someone said to me, what's your favourite match of all time, it would be that match.
Yeah, you've got good reason to.
I saw it live. And we got to see Living Colour perform as well before Punk came out. It was just amazing. And then seeing Undertaker's entrance in real person, I put him onto our YouTube channel as well, GEEKAMANIAcs. And it was just amazing.
It was very, very good match. Very good.
Very, very good.
It was
match.
very nice.
Definitely a 5-star match for me. Match of the year for definite. The spots they did, Punk selling everything, Undertaker when. My favourite match of the match is the bit when Undertaker's being put in the Anaconda Bites, and then you just see Undertaker come out and just his face of death, and you see Punk just oh my god, that moment for me was just
that was
so
a great
good.
little variation on the classic Taker sit up.
Yes.
And just him sitting up whilst in the submission holds. That was clever.
It was
a match filled with clever moments and symmetry. I loved Punk's version of Old School.
I did as well. That was so
nice.
Cool. That was so good. And I just loved every second of that match. From the opening of Living Colour performing to the end when Undertaker walked out, I was probably on my feet for most of that time. It was amazing. I had goosebumps. It was just so good. And just seeing the flames and the fire and the things and coming out and the fireworks and Taker lifting his arms up. It was just, it was so good.
So in summary, he hated it.
I actually would have just left after that match if I could, and I would just I'm fine, I'm done now. It was
a damn good match.
It was a damn good match. That match alone was worth the £1,500 I've spent to go to WrestleMania. It was worth all that money. It was that good.
Yeah. So in summary, I think I'd recommend this Mania. I mean, probably a bit of a personal bias here because I actually went, but I still think last year's was better.
Honestly, without me going to this year's, I honestly think last year's was better. Yeah. But this year's was so good for them to take a Punk match that match alone made the show for me.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested, go watch it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
maybe
probably give it 7 out of 10. The ending was a bit predictable and a bit boring, but at the same time, Punk Taker match was worth every penny. 5 stars. If you get a chance to watch one match of WrestleMania, definitely watch from beginning to end Undertaker Punk because you get 2 amazing entrances, you get a fantastic match and a fantastic ending with Undertaker putting the urn in the middle of the ring, symbolic for Paul Bearer. It was that good. Yeah, and even the promo package beforehand was amazing as well.
I think I'd agree with Mark. Yeah, it's a 7 out of 10 from me. It's pretty decent.
Yes,
good. Not a waste of my time. Kept me entertained throughout. Good stuff.
Definitely.
So now, we shall move on to a very different, strange beast.
Yes.
Raw. Now, for those of you who don't know, the first Raw after WrestleMania is usually a weird one. Because you've got all of the hardcore wrestling fans that have come from all over the world to go to WrestleMania. Then they go into a smaller arena and watch Raw. These crowds are usually hectic. Because these guys are savvy, clever, and energetic.
Yeah, because we would have gone to this year's Raw, but because of the timing, we weren't able to, because our flight was on the Tuesday really early morning, so we didn't have enough time.
It's annoying when that happens, but yeah, but Jesus, these guys were nuts.
They were completely, utterly nuts.
I mean, you cut right from the bat, like, you kind of got hints of that with them, you know, giving the good old boring chant to Cena, doing his same old shtick, and of course a massive round of sexual chocolate when Mark Henry comes out.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that was Mark Henry's old gimmick in the day. He called himself Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, in the late 90s, and he ended up having a hand baby with Mae Young. So what do you know? Yeah.
Really freaking weird.
That was very weird.
So yeah, he's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life. Bless him.
No, he's gonna have to know that. Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of got hints from that this was going to be a bit of a weird one, but everything kind of coasted along quite nicely. And then the thing that really jump-started this crowd was a nice little match between Zeb Coulter, Jack Swagger, and Del Rio. Which which in itself wasn't, you know, too interesting. It was like, oh, it's a nice match. But then, at the end, Ziggler came out.
Yeah.
Cashed in and won the bloody World Heavyweight Championship.
I know, and I could say I've met the world champion.
Yeah, and the whole crowd just everyone came alive and was just went bananas from that.
No, but they were also quite excited as well during the Wade Barrett match. It was still
they got a good reaction there as well, but it wasn't really. That was when they really kicked off. Also, it was great to see Barrett just instantly winning the IC championship back. Yes. And what made it funnier was he didn't even get an entrance.
Yes.
He didn't. They didn't even show his entrance.
Not
sorry. They didn't show his entrance on telly, and yet he still just wins it back after a day. Miz hardly got to touch that title. It was brilliant.
It's because they probably did it because they wanted to start the matchup with something, you know, big and something special, like Miz winning the IC championship. So you know.
But yeah, it was good.
And it was awesome knowing now Dolph Ziggler winning. Finally, he's won the championship.
It's so happy. It's good.
It is very good. And I've even got his shirt as well, because I bought it from WrestleMania.
But yeah, and then things started to get weird from then on. Yes. Because then we had a really weird, like, interactive WWE poll where you had to choose who was going to face Big Show. Would it be Randy Orton or Sheamus? And they put up the big bar graph on there, and the bar graphs were dead on. I mean, it was a dead heat. And yet the percentages next to those bars that were exactly the same size said 77%, 23%.
Is that really what they said?
In the WWE's book, 77% majority, same as a 23% vote. So then they just decided to have a fight between them to see who would fight Big Show.
And
it was the most boring match, but that match will go down in history.
Yeah.
Because that crowd was so bored they created magic.
Yes.
There were Mexican waves, there were Ole 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 chants,
there were Michael
there
Cole
were
chants.
RVD chants, there was JBL chants, there was Mike Chiodo, is that his name?
Mike Chioda chants.
Mike Chioda
Jerry Lawler chants.
Freaking, it was bananas. They were just going crazy. Yeah, and then after a while they just started chanting, "We are awesome."
Yes.
Because they were awesome. They bloody well knew it.
They were awesome as well.
It was honestly, go watch that match just for how mad the crowd was.
Yes.
You won't be watching the crowd. You'll just be listening to all of the chants echoing around this tiny little ring.
And usually the announcers never mention the chants, but they did because they thought...
But they were chanting. They were so uninterested in the match. They started chanting for the commentators. They even chanted for Justin Roberts. For if you don't know, he's the ring announcer. He's the guy who goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys of all ages," that kind of stuff. Although that's how I'd think. But still, I'm just rambling. It was amazing dumb and beautiful.
Yes.
And I love them.
And that's why us wrestling fans are some of the best fans in the world. Because we do stuff like that, which is hilarious.
Mental. And it didn't get more sane. It just went more insane.
Yes. And then Fandango came out to fight against Kofi Kingston, and when he in the match, they were humming his theme tune. Yeah,
it was surreal because up until then, Fandango. I mean, you just heard us talk about WrestleMania. He wasn't interested. The crowd weren't really into him. But then he comes out to this post WrestleMania crowd, and they just all start going do 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 do. And they just do this for the whole match.
Yes.
For no reason. And then they start doing this in matches afterwards. To the point where they start doing it in the main event, which is John Cena and Mark Henry. And John Cena, to acknowledge this, starts doing a little bit of a salsa move. And the crowd goes bananas for it.
Yes.
It's freaking nuts. And you'd think, oh, well, okay, this is just some post-WrestleMania crowd. This isn't going to become a thing. It's totally become a thing.
Yes. On iTunes, his theme at the moment has gone down to 2 places to 13th in the top.
Just process for this a little while, guys. It's number 13. We just checked like 10 minutes ago. It's number 13 in the UK top 40.
Yes.
This isn't a pop song. This song doesn't even have lyrics.
No,
this is just an instrumental salsa song.
Yes.
And it's number 13 in the charts because some wrestling fans started humming it.
Yes.
This is so dumb.
It's now stuck in our heads. Like, I keep on humming it.
It's so dumb and so glorious. And yeah, I'm sorry. Because you're going to have to hear this song on the radio and you're going to be so confused, bless you.
Yes.
But you will not be aware of how awesome this thing is and how great a thing we have created.
Yes, like last year we did the Yes chants of Daniel Bryan. This year we're now doing the Cha 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 La 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 song.
Yeah, it's called Cha 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 La La La. That's the name of the song. It's beautiful, right?
It is an amazing song. I love it. It's so good.
But yeah, I think we should wrap this episode up. It's gone on for a while. So, as usual, that's Mark.
And as usual, that's a Ben.
And I think we should sing ourselves out. So... Da, 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 turn you off. You don't want to hear us singing, no. Cause that would be dumb. Look at this, it's terrifying. Die.